Welcome to Nebrasketball Hour, brought to you by Nebraska Realty, Ag Division, Wahoo Office, Michigan 75, Nebraska 72. The Huskers lose a heartbreaker, shorthanded on the road at Michigan, and I'm Jack Mitchell. I'm with Caleb Henry. Glad to have you with us. A big shout out to our sponsor, Nebraska Realty, Wahoo Office. More on them in a little bit later in the show tonight. But this is one of the weirdest emotional spots I've ever been in, Caleb, because I'm somehow both heartbroken and I just experienced the best loss of my sports life. And I do not know how. I'm having a hard time kind of justifying those two things together at this point. And so we're going to work through it during the course of the show tonight. Maybe some of you are where I am. Maybe some of you are proud, excited about what happened tonight. Maybe some of you have individual things that you think if it had just changed a little bit, Nebraska would have won. Maybe some of you are frustrated with the officiating or the announcing. I think every single thing I just listed is completely legitimate after tonight's game. There's nothing that I just said that is wrong. I think everyone will have sort of varying reactions to all of those. So we're going to jump into this. Just a couple of housekeeping items. We already have some super chats, but I do want to point out that we will have the Discord up. That is for I-80 Club members, patreon.com/I-80 Club. If you ever are interested in being a part of our Discord community and getting premium content, some extra shows, some nice perks, go to patreon.com/I-80 Club and just kind of supporting us to continue to do this. We would love it if you are interested to do that. And that's where we'll get the chats from. That said, if you have not done that, may not do that, you can give us a super chat on YouTube. That's another way that you can help us out. We really appreciate that. And we will always read your super chats. The only other thing, we got about 200 people watching. If you haven't yet, please, the biggest way you can help us free of charge is to subscribe to the YouTube page. I would encourage setting alerts just to know when we go on, but wow. So there you go. All right, Kaleb, 75-72, Nebraska beats Michigan. I was worried during the course of this game that I would have no words to describe what I was seeing. That was a legitimate worry.
Yeah.
At least that was more of a worry if Nebraska were to pull this off. So I've some because they lost, but let's start with you because I'm still fighting Michigan fans on Twitter and I'm trying to get that out of my head right now. In any case, give me your thoughts on whatever the hell that was that you saw tonight.
Yeah, like when you're watching that game, it feels so different because of the expectations of the game going in. You already knew that you weren't going to get Frager. And then you're going through the day and you're like, man, Rink Mast isn't going to play. Or Rink Mast might play. He's out there stretching. Okay, he's not going to play. Cale Jacobsen's starting. And it's like, all right. I think we all kind of accept this is a really tough week. You're on the road. You're at the number 3 team. Michigan damn near looked like an NBA team at the when they were playing in the players era stuff earlier this season. So it's like, all right, this is pretty tough. And then Nebraska comes out blow for blow. And you're just like, okay, what's going on here? You start getting the FU heater from Jamarcus Lawrence. Price starts going. Those two guys combined for 8 of Nebraska's 10 threes in the first half. Nebraska's up, not just up at halftime, but scored 50 points in the first 20 minutes. And you're just like, all right, so how's this going? And then it was like, then you start to think, how much longer can they go at this pace, even with getting additional minutes from Cale, additional minutes, good minutes from Leo Curtis, who I thought like he shined the bit that he was out there.
It's crazy.
And then you get down the stretch and you're like, the shots are just a little short. They're a little tired. On top of the calls aren't going your way. And it's just like it all came to a head in those last 3, 4, 5 minutes for Nebraska, who ends up being just one shot short in the last minute of at least sending it to overtime, if not other weird things happening.
Yep.
So like it's Jack, it's a tough position in the, as I tweeted out, it's a bummer. Like, bummer. It sucks. It's still a loss. But in the grand resume of the season, it's still only one loss. And it's one loss not to UTRG Alphabet. It's one loss to, and on the road, one of the best teams in the country who's also in your conference. It's like it's an understandable loss when you look at it. And then when you talk about the loss, not only, okay, you lose by 3, but you go back to the didn't have Frager, didn't have Rink. And you played like that. My biggest takeaway from the game is if there's anyone out there who is still going, they're gonna get shown these frauds. They're gonna get shown as frauds right now in Ann Arbor. All right, take away 2 of the top 3 scorers on the team, and it's a 3-point game at Michigan.
Yeah, somehow there is a combination of Nebraska losing this game and me feeling better about this team, which is bizarre, but I think that's where I'm at. I said to my wife and my daughter before the game started, when we found out Rank Mast was out, I said, look, if they can keep this within 10, this is a huge success. And I honestly meant that. Like I thought Michigan was going to win this by 20. I really did. Once Rank Mast, once I knew Rank wasn't going to play, I really just thought Nebraska's short bench, fatigue, Michigan's talent. They've blown teams out of the water. They beat Gonzaga by 40 on a neutral site. I mean, they've just absolutely murdered people at times during the course of this year. So I went in with, I think probably some low expectations, but I think rightfully so, given that you're down 2 of your best 5 scorers, and that Michigan is, while they're not number 1 in the nation, I believe they're the Vegas odds-on favorite to win the national championship. So this is,
I'm pretty sure they are.
So this is, this is the most difficult regular season game possible to play in the NCAA right now, if that's possible. And then add to the most difficult possible regular season game to play, you take away 2 of your, arguably your most pivotal, most unique player on the entire team. And then another big, offensive force on the team. And so then you're like, okay, well, things are starting to stack up against us. And that doesn't even get to the thought of short bench, exhaustion, foul trouble, everything else. And yet, after all of that, this team, I did not think they had a chance. I did not think they had a chance of doing what they did. There were 15 times in that game where it wasn't even joy. It was, I was happy, but it was shock at what I was looking at. Cale Jacobsen was responsible for about half of those, but
teardrop Cale.
I still can't believe what I just saw. I can't believe what I just saw in terms of how this team fought, played, and I kept waiting and waiting. I kept thinking, okay, they're gonna stop hitting three. Marcus Lawrence can't hit at this rate for the entire game. I was right, but that wasn't the problem because I was like, they can't keep making threes. That's obviously it did, but they could have won without hitting threes essentially the entirety of the second half.
Yeah.
I kept thinking, well, at some point Michigan is just going to get hot. They're going to show they're just going to change. Nebraska's defense can't keep up with them. That never happened. It didn't happen. Michigan's going to stop turning it over at some point, right? That didn't happen. Like, I can't believe what a good loss this was. And that is such, I get it. It's loser talk. Say whatever you want to. But if you have followed this team, if you followed college basketball, and it appears the vast majority, I mean, the obviously the Peacock announcers do not. They do not. I mean, it was rough. It was rough tonight. And at the end, when they talked about Michigan's grit in this game, I nearly fell off my chair. Yes, the blue blood stacked with NBA talent team showed grit to beat the 6-man rotation, half of which were Nebraska high school players, or I guess 2/6 of which were Nebraska high school players that had no recruitment in Division I. And your grit is on Michigan's side. It's ridiculous. So anyway, those are my thoughts. Real quick, just shout out Bill Brasky. Super chat says, let's beat Illinois by 20. F this conference. Yeah.
Was that a Turkish U?
I don't know what that was. I don't know what that was. So I don't even know quite where to go from here. I've got
something for you. I've got a place for us to start.
Go ahead. I'm so emotionally mixed up after this. A combination of hope, sadness, shock. I don't know how to even explain where I'm at right now.
Let's talk. This is the thing that as Nebraska got to 20-0, and you had some of kind of the national conversations around the Huskers, obviously what's going to happen over the course of the regular season, but what is it going to look like in March? And a lot of the conversation came down to, well, Nebraska's playing in the Big Ten. The Big Ten plays a physical brand of basketball, and that doesn't translate to March when you're trying to win 6 games in a row. What we saw tonight was the Big Ten brand of physical basketball. And I'll say this. Nebraska got away with some fouls too. Michigan got away with some. But at the end of the day, when the whistle was called, it was called much more heavily towards the home side, who ended up shooting in this game 23 free throws to Nebraska's 4. So that's not Nebraska playing from behind and trying to get free throws. That's the reality of it. It was an extremely physical game. It was inconsistent on the whistle. But when you don't have Rink Mast inside and you don't have Frager driving, that hurts you at trying to get some of those other foul calls when you're driving. You also have like some soft touch fouls here and there. It was inconsistent. I don't think either team or either fan base is going to be happy about the way the overall game was officiated. It was so physical. And then you add on with Nebraska being shorthanded, and you have extra minutes for guys, and everyone's getting thrown all over the place. Like it wears on your body. I will say this, though, going back to the brand of basketball Nebraska plays compared to the conference Nebraska plays in, Nebraska handled it for the most part pretty well today and didn't get blown out by a team who lives by playing that brand of basketball. Nebraska's brand of basketball, I think, is going to translate really well to March and not in the go physically hold people all over the place and run them over. So that's something that coming out of this game, watching the way it played out, no, it didn't result in a W tonight, but it has me encouraged for the way Nebraska can play when you get to the postseason.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have some, it looks like we have some guests in the chat tonight, Caleb, in the YouTube chat. I don't know where my option to just show the starred tweets or the starred comments is. It leaves. StreamYard, screw you. the amount of things that you just have disappear this often is the most frustrating thing in the world. But I can't just do the starred comments tonight, so I have to read some of the trolls tonight, although I switched off of it right now. But I don't want to miss our great super chatters, so I will be checking back. Someone let me know if I miss a super chat. That would be great on this whole thing. But the perception is that that Nebraska fans or us or whomever are whining after this. No, I wouldn't say whining is my takeaway. My takeaway is absolute shock and awe at the way this team, Nebraska, played during this game. Over and over and over and over again. No. Yeah, were there bad calls? Absolutely. Was there, I mean, did the and I agree with you, Kaleb. There were rough calls both ways. Like they were, Nebraska had some fouls. I couldn't believe they didn't call on Nebraska when they were physical, handsy, getting steals for sure, 100%. It just seemed like in the last 3 minutes of the game, Michigan got every single one down the road, and whatever that happens. That wasn't my takeaway from the game, although frustrating at the end. I can't believe they didn't call a charge on that last one. I can't believe they called Sam for that foul when the dude brought his hands down. And I'm arguing with Ant Wright on Twitter, who acted like that wasn't weird. It was a weird foul. It was a weird call. Everything was weird about it. But my takeaway is still, I cannot believe they made it work with that lineup. If that is not your takeaway from this game, that Sam Hoiberg, Cale Jacobsen, Berkay, freaking Leo Curtis, who's not playing basketball. If your takeaway is not absolute shock at the way Nebraska dominated this game for 95% of it, you are missing absolutely the entire context of what's going on, and that's fine, right? That's fine for now. And I am down that they lost, but I am more confident in this team than I have ever been. And that's obviously been something I've struggled with. There is not one game this year that makes me more confident about the future of this team than what happened tonight when they were completely shorthanded in a situation I thought they had no chance in. Is anyone scared by Michigan now? Is it, if that's the favorite to win the national championship, is Cale Jacobsen and Leo Curtis putting up shots on those guys? Is anyone scared of that? If that's the best college basketball has to offer, yeah, it's time to say it. Final Four, national championship game, I don't know. But until I see a team that is more intimidating than what we saw tonight from the opponent against an unbelievably short-handed team at home, then I'm not scared of anything for the rest of the year whatsoever. Okay? If your Michigan fans are gloating tonight, I don't know what in the shit you're gloating about. There is nothing to be proud of. There is not one. You're screwed. You're not winning the national. I don't know. I'm not saying we are, but you're not. You're not. I don't know if it's Arizona. I don't know if it's UConn. It ain't you. Okay? So enjoy, guys. Enjoy your big win tonight against Nebraska Supreme Silver and Leo Curtis from Iceland, who played their hearts out. Yeah, I'm sure you're. I got some super chats I got to get to. Once again, if I didn't say it before, the start option came up.
Hey, yeah.
StreamYard. I hope the bosses at StreamYard saw that. Paul says, I'm with you. I'm amazed we hung with them. My expectations are probably up 100%, Paul. 100. You can call. Listen, there has been a reason in the past to say, Jack, why your fatalism is a little much with this season, right? Jack wouldn't give him a 10 on the NCAA tournament meter until they won 20 games. Fine. But any doubt I had tonight was it was reasonable. There's no objective reason for us to come into this game, the hardest regular season game possible in college basketball, down 2 players, and have any level of confidence. There's no reason. There's no objective, sane reason to come in with some level of confidence and to expect what happened tonight. So, Paul, I agree. Gucci, this Nebraska team is so good. If they don't choke in the first round, they have a chance to go to the Final Four.
Yeah, it all kind of it hinges on that first round, yes. But Jack, here's the thing. As you said, you were looking at this game and the barometer, the measuring stick that is Michigan. There's nobody Nebraska should be scared of looking not just the rest of the regular season, but when you get to the postseason. I watched Arizona last night. I didn't see anything there that said Nebraska can't play with them. And then you go today and you have no Frager, you have no Rink, and you're on the road to a team that went to the neutral site back in November and beat San Diego State 94-54, Auburn 102-72.
Yeah, that wasn't that team. They ain't that team. They ain't that team now.
They peaked within the first 2 weeks of the season.
They're not that
very, very good.
Congrats on the win tonight. It wasn't impressive. It was unimpressive. You guys are, I don't know. If Nebraska's bad, you guys are screwed. You guys are.
Who said Nebraska?
Hold on.
So far the other way.
No. But if Nebraska is not real, right? Yeah.
The people who have been saying
if Nebraska's not real,
they're frauds.
If Nebraska's not real, I'm taking the 15 seed against Michigan in the first round. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to now lose. They probably got a few L's in the Big Ten Conference coming up. I assume Michigan State's going to beat them
on Friday.
Yeah, probably at this point. Hey, you like that, trolls? I can't see your comments anymore either, so you're yelling into a void. How's it feel? Can't see it. Say whatever you want. I'm never going to see it. I can see what Paul says. What was going on with the no middle D in the first half? I have no idea what that means, but thank you for the super chat. Caleb, can you help me with that?
With the
no, what was going on with the no middle D in the first half? As in Nebraska was not guarding in the middle?
Well, Michigan was also.
I got no idea what the hell that means, but
so
I'll refund the super chat if he wants me to. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. Well, so what I was seeing in the first half was, and you got it in the second half too, was Michigan was able to play it through their posts and get inside out, and then you got guys on drives, and Michigan lived by getting the ball into the paint, and Nebraska lives defensively by keeping the ball out of said paint. But it was just an up and down game. And yeah, there were a lot of times where it was like, all right, that's an easier bucket for Michigan. Oh, there's a layup. Oh, there's a dunk. There's a lob over the top. But you were also playing smaller than you have been all season by not having Rink Mast out there. Like, your switch in the starting lineup for Rink Mast was Cale Jacobsen. And yeah, you got more minutes from Leo Curtis and you got some Jared Garcia, but like, you were going to be shorter. So yeah, like whatever you were going to do defensively was going to look a little bit different against one of the tallest teams you will play all season.
Caleb, if I had told Nebraska fans, anyone, you will have a lineup of Cale Jacobsen, Leo Curtis, Sam Hoiberg, Jamarcus Lawrence, and Berkay on the floor, and you're playing the top team, the national championship favorite, you would have said this is the dumbest thing the dumbest hypothetical you could ever set up. It's insane. That will never happen. That would never happen. Obviously, they wouldn't keep up. I don't know why you're making this hypothetical, but here we are. That's what it was. Or switch Berkay and put Leo in there for him. And then Leo's dropping freaking hook shots in their eye.
He had one spot.
Are you kidding me?
I can do a left-handed hook shot from right here. Give me the ball.
He couldn't do that against South Carolina upstate. What is going on? I don't know if my takeaway here, it's getting close now. I'm not sure yet if it is Nebraska just had one of the most impressive performances in a loss that I will ever see in sports in my life, or Michigan may be one of the most overrated teams I've ever seen ever. I'm not sure what it is because we all swooned. I did. I swooned when they beat Gonzaga by 40. It was amazing. I was like, wow, is this the dream team? Is this the new best ever college basketball team? Beat Auburn by, I don't know, 30, whatever it was. They beat USC, just absolutely destroyed the USC team the night Nebraska played Michigan State, I believe that was. But they lost to Wisconsin at home.
Uh-huh.
I saw Wisconsin in Lincoln. That was one of the most boring games I've ever watched in my life, Caleb, because it was an absolute destruction. You gotta. I don't know.
Weird week, man.
I'm not saying Dusty's on the hot seat yet.
Oh God.
But it's rough. I mean, it's got to be one or the other. Listen, it's either Nebraska's a national championship contender when they stay with you down two of their best 4 offensive threats. Is that fair to say? 2 of their 4 best offensive threats.
Easily.
They're leading you the entire game. You pull ahead at the end, okay? It's either Nebraska is a national championship contender or you suck. You pick. Which do you want? Which do you want? It's one of the two after that game.
Well, as Jack, as I've said, and I'm not going into the baiting whatever the other fan base wants to decide Nebraska is real or not. But for me, Nebraska's Final Four potential is what the team is. It's not, make sure they win one game in March. Because, yeah, you got to win one game. You got to win whatever's in front of you. But when you start looking at the resumes and go, this team's for real, this team's not, what are the metrics? Michigan's one of the best defensive teams in the country. And Nebraska put up 50 on them in the first half. All right? Without Rink Mast, who probably would have scored 40 tonight because the game was on Peacock. For whatever reason, Rink Mast plays real good on the cock. And then you don't have Braden Frager, who is also your offensive electrician when he gets in there, and scored 50 in the first half. So you can't look at anything and be like, Nebraska can't play with them. You can't look at the tournament bracket whenever it comes out and goes, okay, no, Nebraska doesn't have a path to the Final Four. Whatever the bracket looks like when it comes out just shy of 7 weeks from now, Nebraska has a path to the Final Four. That's what I got out of the game tonight.
I've never felt comfortable saying that. I now feel comfortable saying that. I mean, that's what tonight was for me. It finally gave me the chance. There's no game, no moment, nothing that made me feel more comfortable in a very uncomfortable spot for me, which is confidence in the team. But this was it. Like, this was completely it. And it is, I still, Caleb, am trying to figure out how in the hell they did that. Like, I mean, it felt like for a while, for periods of the game, long periods of the game, 80% of the game, Jamarcus, Sanford, Cale, Sam, Berkay were playing the best they could possibly play. And even if you knew, and Leo, I mean, to the degree that he was in, every single one. I mean, the only one you could say, I mean, that they kind of gave up on. Fred gave Garcia a shot and said no once again.
Yes. And guess what? Jared Garcia in his 10 minutes was +5.
Yeah.
And that plus minus was +5.
Really? That's interesting. Nebraska with 5 5 minutes left in the game, had a 62% chance of winning the game, had a 60% chance of winning the game with 4:26 left. Man. But you could just see it starting at the end to the foul trouble, the exhaustion that you knew was going to hit at some point, and then just whatever, Again, I think there are certainly calls that Michigan could have quibbled with tonight, but down the stretch, that was the timing, right? That was just the timing of it. Nebraska had a couple. They didn't get the close ones down the stretch. I'm not saying officiating lost the game,
right?
But officiate. They didn't get the calls when Michigan turned it around. It felt like Michigan had to have a lot go right at the end, and they did, and they did. They made shots that got stops on Nebraska. Bear K missed a couple of bunnies. You missed Price missed a free throw. I mean, if you really want to, we could get into the what if game because there are a few of them, but it feels stupid to do that given what they did tonight.
Yeah, because when it comes down to it, you have to make those shots, whatever it is on the layups. And Nebraska goes 14 of 20 on layups. Michigan was 16 of 21. It's like, all right, either side feels like they make 3-4 of those. It's a double-digit game at the end, and it's different. But ultimately what the difference comes down to is you can look at the officiating, you can look at the discrepancy on the foul calls and the free throws. And I'm not going to say that those didn't play a part in it. Nebraska also only made one shot out of its last 9 in the last 5.5 minutes of the game. Clearly tired, clearly exhausted, but you would see a shot go up like a Price Sanford 3, and it's like, oh, he's exhausted, he's tired, the legs aren't there. But as soon as everyone crosses half court, it's like every ounce of what they have left is coming back to them defensively. Like whatever tired they were on offense, and you can't just run Sanford around for 15, 20 seconds and then he gets a layup. That was amazing to me, Jack, to watch the defensive pressure. You didn't get it all in the first half, and Michigan shot 66%, but it was definitely there in the second half as you had more of a grind.
God, they turned it. I mean, I know Michigan turns it over, but they turned it over a weird amount. I mean, it was something, and there was something with the defense there, obviously, with that whole thing. And by the way, Paul, thank you again, Paul, for the other super chat. He said, Caleb understands my no middle D reference. Just seemed like they got in the paint easily. They're
very good at that. Like that's absolutely their strength.
It's just, and listen, this is not saying he's wrong or anything. I can't imagine coming out of that first half and that being your takeaway from that. Like, well, good half, Nebraska's ahead, but man, Michigan was getting too many easy points in the paint. Yeah, well,
I can guarantee you had good cop, worse cop at halftime, and he said keep them out of the friggin' paint.
Yeah, I thought Michigan's size would be more of a problem. Let's go. Let's go. By the way, first of all, let me do this first. First off, I need a break, and thank you everyone for tuning in. Give me a break to talk about someone who does their job really, really well, even under pressure, which I don't know if I do tonight, but Nebraska Realty, and which I always forget, and I really should have notes, but which office is it? Nebraska Realty is our Wahoo. That's what it is.
Wahoo. Yes, that one.
Wahoo. Nebraska.
I can't yell when we do that bit.
Wahoo. Yes. And let me just say this at the beginning. People are like, well, Wahoo. That's great. I don't live in Wahoo. It doesn't matter. Statewide, baby.
Basketball capital Wahoo.
Statewide, Wahoo. There are the offices in Wahoo. You're in Lincoln. You're in Omaha. You're in South Sioux City. You're in Kearney. You're in York. I don't care. Okay? You're buying. You're selling. You're looking for a free market analysis. You're looking for the best dang auctioneer in the entire state. Dan Sanderson is part of the group. You got Tim Shanahan. He's an associate broker. All three of these guys. This is crazy. Nebraska Realty, big company. These three are all in the top 10. This is the team that you want. Like Nebraska basketball, personal property auctions too. All of these they do. So anything that you can conceive of in the realty world, buying, selling, estate sales, personal property auctions, market analysis, ag business through estates, all of it, they do it for anywhere in Nebraska. They travel, they do well. They're a great team, very much like Nebraska basketball. Oh, and also they're huge Husker fans. And I've got my full mast shirt. I got it tonight, Kaleb. If they won,
ready to join the Dutch Navy.
If they won, I was going to wear it. They did not win. And also I was busy fighting on Twitter, so I forgot about it, but I have that upstairs. So shout out Kurt. His cell number is up here on our screen, 402-480-1708. Or you can call their office during business hours, 402-443-3415. Nebraska Realty Wahoo office, our fantastic title sponsor for the Nebrasketball Hour. Let's go inside of the box score. Kaleb, I haven't looked at this yet. I am super curious now to check this out. Well,
first of all, yeah,
go ahead.
I had pointed out to you the fouls and the free throws. Here's a couple other that I found interesting, and I put into my story, and you guys can read all of my work at huskermax.com as well. But Michigan out-rebounds Nebraska 35-23, but only grabbed 2 more offensive rebounds. 9-7 was the difference there. Of course, Wolverines then turned that into more points, 14-5 on second chance points, and had 38-32 the points in the paint. Nebraska had the advantage besides the 3-point shooting, especially in the first half. Nebraska only had 11 turnovers. Michigan had 19. 13 of those were steals for Nebraska.
Damn.
However,
Cale, Sam, man.
However, finding a way to score off of those turnovers, Michigan did better, 17-13.
Wow, that's interesting. That's primarily the second half when you're talking about that. Where Nebraska just wasn't converting, was missing shots as well. Like the way Nebraska won this game, well, I said this morning, the way Nebraska wins this game is Rank Mass has a huge game. You've got to have Rank. This is what I said this morning. The only way you win this game, given Michigan's size, is Rank Mass becomes that dual inside-outside threat. That's the only chance you got a chance. This elite Michigan team is the only way you've got a chance. Is he brings back that kind of matchup nightmare situation? Well, I guess he didn't play, is what I'm being told. And
breaking.
And then I said, now let me continue. The only way you win this is if you hit like 50% from 3. Okay. And they did in the first half. They were over 50% from 3. What did they end up from 3? 34%. They needed one more. They needed one more to get to right around average, maybe slightly above average from 3 for the night to win the game. That's wild. By the way, Zach, super chat, thank you. Zach says first loss of season, 3-point loss on the road versus the number 3 team in the 21st game of the season without 2 of their best players. I can live with that. If Nebraska faces them in the Big Ten tourney with Maston Frager, they'll beat them. Unless tonight was smoke and mirrors, that's how I feel too now.
Well,
I did not feel that way. That's the weird thing about this game. I feel so much better about this team than I did going into it. For a 20-0 team.
Yeah. Jack, and honestly, you get to the Big Ten tournament, or if something happens in the later rounds of the NCAA tournament, it'll be a neutral site game. But did you see the pictures coming out of coming back from Michigan's arena? Did people see Nebraska on the schedule and just go, we're not going to that game?
Oh, was it empty?
It was not well attended from the pictures.
Or I mean, not empty, but not full.
Not empty. But I think about what Pinnacle Bank Arena has looked like every friggin' game. What Nebraska's arena looked like in the bye games in December, where the 300 level is packed out, and some of the pictures I saw most of the way through the first half, and you've got like half of rows missing.
Yeah. That's great. And I will tell you this, Kaleb. contrast that with what it is going to be like. By the way, real quick, Paul,
I'm getting in trouble. Come here.
Paul, you're the best.
No, don't be on camera. Just look.
He says, I really wasn't going to comment again, but then Kaleb said that Mass plays really good on the bleep, and I feel like it didn't get enough attention. There you go. Kaleb, you happy? You happy?
I made my wife come over and read it because she doesn't watch anything I do. So she was never going to hear my analysis.
All right, what were we just talking about? I got interrupted and I forgot what I just said. That's okay. It was an okay. Thank you, Paul. I appreciate that. I forgot where I was going right before that. We'll pick it up when I think of it. Let's go back. Go ahead, Kaleb.
The confidence that you're coming out of the game with, if you see them again in the Big Ten.
Oh no, I know what I was talking about. You were talking about Michigan's crowd, which yes. I didn't even notice that, but whatever. That ain't gonna be the issue at Pinnacle Bank Arena on Sunday.
Sunday's still gonna be insane.
You are going to let's add in, okay, to what Nebraska's done, which is unbridled joy, happiness, confidence. Everyone's interested. Let's add just a little sprinkle of anger into it now, shall we? And then let's see what happens.
Which, by the way,
that's what's coming.
We've heard the Husker fans do the "refs you suck" chant. I heard Michigan on the broadcast doing "refs you suck," and I'm like, you got the call. There was a scramble. There was a lot of bumping and action. It went out of bounds, and it's your ball, and you're chanting "refs you suck." Like, does nobody understand the game of basketball? You got the ball. Like, did you want it to be a flagrant 2 because they bumped in a way that wouldn't have been a call 99% of the game? Also, their PA guy had to start defense chants for them. Is that the worst? Does Michigan have the worst home crowd and home environment in the Big Ten? That's what, not even Nebraska Final Four team. What we learned tonight is that Michigan has the worst home environment in the Big Ten.
Again, one of these two things has to be true. Michigan is terrible, or Nebraska is a national championship team. One of the two has to be true. Which is it? You tell us, Michigan fans. Oh, and by the way, Michigan fans, if you tell us in the chat, I won't see it. I won't see it. It'll go into the ether, and I hope my Nebraska fans in there are responding to you and talking to you. I won't see it.
If you want to see it, got to send a couple bucks. It's the way it works.
Nebraska would have beat Michigan in 1997 by a lot.
Finally.
I'm feeling better as this show goes on, Kaleb.
That's usually what happens. I
am feeling better and better as this show goes on. And I go ahead.
Back to, we were going through some of the box score. Did you realize that both Jamarcus and Price got to 20 points on the night?
Well, I knew Jamarcus had 18. When he got to 8, I don't know where he got to 18. It was with like 8 minutes left in the first half. He had 18 at a wildly early
16
spot.
In the first half.
Oh, I thought they said 18. Okay.
Yeah, he had 16 in the first half.
All right. Well, then that was probably their mistake, not mine. Yeah, he had 20 and Price had 20. Price took 16 3-pointers. Again, this is the amazing thing. Not only were they shorthanded, and yeah, they gave incredible effort. They several players on that team played out of their mind. On the other hand, they shot fine.
Yeah,
it was fine. It was probably could have been quite a bit better. This was not like the old, if you take the game as a whole, this was not like that he's on fire, burn up the rim situation at all. Again, 11 for 32 for 3. 11 for 32. Hell, Price was 5 for 16. I kept thinking a big Price 3 was coming, and it didn't at the very end. I kept thinking, like, man, he is going to dagger them at some
Especially
point.
That last one. Like, he comes just open enough, and even though his feet aren't quite under him, I was like, oh, that's going.
I absolutely thought he had a dagger in him. Like just so you know, guys, he'll have that. You like next time you're screwed. He'll have that next time. Sam Hoy. So you had two guys. Price and Sam got 1 minute off. Both played 39 minutes.
Jack, I have to interrupt you for a second.
Yeah.
Marquette is 7-14 on the season, and they are leading Creighton 36-16 with 4.5 to go in the first half.
Husker for MU, baby. Your night.
Go.
I'm happy for Husker for MU. I wish he could have got 2 wins tonight, but at least he's going to get one on our Discord to enjoy. So, but what I was saying is Sam played 39. Okay. Price played 39. Michigan, Lendeborg had their most minutes. He had 33. So did Cadeo. Am I saying his name right? Number 3. They had 33. So those guys both played 39. Berke played 36 minutes, Kaleb. People, if you haven't been following, like if you just turned on this game and you haven't seen Nebraska, you're like, man, that is a solid, well-rounded team. They weren't well-rounded. They weren't well-rounded. Nebraska free throws 3 for 4. Michigan free throws 19 for 23. I know. Here comes the you can't just bet. You can't base it on free throw attempts, man. That hurt. I mean, whatever, right or wrong, that hurt Nebraska. They couldn't get to the free throw line. They couldn't get to the free throw line. And they got in foul trouble at the end too. I think it affected how folks played, although Sam went into the contact, and that's the play I think that is going to be the one that's most scrutinized after this is over, where Sam went in, tried to take the charge. It was a no call. I don't know. I'm so biased. I don't even know that I can even speak to it. Plus, Peacock didn't show a freaking. I haven't seen a good replay of that yet because Peacock apparently is out on replay. Michael Bruns had the tweet of the night. He was like, "So do you have to pay an extra subscription to get the replays for the game too?"
Yeah, there was.
I didn't ever see a good one.
Like I was watching, especially when Cale is getting called for. What, 2 or 3 of his fouls were him trying to block somebody out and they're jumping over him. Like I'm thankfully, I guess this is the thankful part to it being on a streaming service, is I rewind it right away just to see what happened, because they show 0 replays of stuff that happens. Like, I don't understand why they're doing that.
Yeah. Yep. Let's see. Dave Fight posted apparently the go-ahead bucket for Michigan. I'm watching it right now. Oh my gosh, man! That I'm watching it now for the first time.
That's an easy call.
Wow, he was outside of the line. He was set. He was not set for a second. He was set for multiple seconds. Wow. It's rough. It's rough. And am I furious about it? Yes. Was I furious in the moment? I was livid, of course. There were also multiple plays where Michigan went inside and drove, and Nebraska just kind of ended up with the ball, and it was just a melee, and Nebraska got the ball.
Yeah.
And I couldn't believe they didn't call a foul. So
right.
I guess there's that too.
Jack, back to the minutes conversation where you gave the minutes for the whole game. Here's the minutes in the second half.
Yeah.
Sam didn't come out. Price and Cale played 19 minutes. Berke played 18 minutes. Leo got 8 minutes. Like that's why everyone's tired for the last 4 minutes of the game, because as all of those add up, they have played 5, 6, 7, 8 more minutes of a very physical contest from start to finish than the playmakers and the stars on the other side. And some of that, like, it's just lucky sometimes on what you have
Right.
available to you. And it's Michigan had those guys available. Nebraska didn't. Nebraska tried to make the most of what they had. It ends up being 3 points short.
Yeah. Yep. And let me go back one more time to Leo Curtis. The hook shots. It's just, I mean, it was against Mara on him. Like, it was just that dude again didn't make those shots in garbage time of bye games. He missed a few of those, and then he comes in against arguably the best team in the country on the road when he didn't expect to be playing when he woke up this morning and was putting those things down. That dude, he has won a spot in my heart forever for those 6 points that he had. 3 for 4, 1 rebound. He had a steal. He had a steal in the game too. Apparently, among Nebraska's 13 steals. Berke had 5 rebounds in the game, but every single one of them was fighting his ass off for him.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to go back and be like, what if, and I already mentioned this before, but did he miss three shots that were should have been made? Just not bunnies, but close to bunnies, right?
He went 1 for 6 inside the arc.
Yeah, man. Those hurt. Those hurt down the road. That said, he made one absolutely ridiculous pass. I think was it to Leo? I think in the second half, he made just an incredible pass to Leo.
He made a beautiful pass to Jamarcus.
Yeah, and then
second half.
There was one Sam Hoiberg made tonight. I swear it was a freaking curveball. I do not know how he threw it, and he kind of curved it around to I need to watch the highlights again, and I don't even remember who made the basket at this point. It probably was Berke, but I can't remember. But it was freaking incredible. I wish they could have got Jamarcus back into the rhythm in the second half. Like, it's obviously something changed with that.
Yeah.
Something changed with that. But he was going for a Price versus Illinois first half was what that was at some point.
Right. Well, and now we're going to see you have Illinois on Sunday. 3 o'clock tip on FS1 for those who can't be at PVA. And hopefully, like, if it's a flu or flu-like, whatever it is, you get Rink back. This is the game that had been circled as the can you get Frager back for this one among the kind of like he goes down against Washington. You know you're going to not have him for Minnesota, probably won't have him for Michigan. This is that first game where you go, is it good or is it rushing him? So now it becomes that watch for the next few days.
Illinois, since they played Nebraska, which was back in December, it's a long time ago, in conference play, went on the road, beat Penn State by 8. At home, absolutely destroyed Rutgers by 36. Went to Iowa, beat them on the road, good win, beat them by 6. Went on the road, beat Northwestern by 11. I watched the second half of that game. That was tight until they pulled away in the last 5 minutes or so of that game. At home, beat Minnesota by 10. At home, beat Maryland by 19. And then they had that game against Purdue on Saturday, where they went on the road and had their best win of the year by beating Purdue. They're a man down, though, when it comes to injuries, and they still got it at Purdue. So they're in kind of a similar situation. They're going to come in pissed. They're bitter about that game. They're angry. They're angry about that game.
Oh, yeah.
In December. They're frustrated. They want Frager more. They want Frager to play in that game more than anyone, because that team, we talk about Frager costing Nebraska when he gets teased and does all of those things. But if you go back to that Illinois game, that's when it worked for Nebraska. He basically drew a technical on Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of before Frager got into his huge offensive rhythm that he really started with the Ohio State game. I don't know. I have reason to believe I feel like Illinois is going to come in motivated in that game, like way Michigan didn't tonight. And maybe Michigan was looking ahead to Michigan State. People were saying that before the game. And I was like, man, I get it. It's Nebraska. Like, I get it. But still, 20-0. Anybody comes in 20-0.
20-0, number 5 in the country.
Like you've got to be. There's no way you're going to come in flat in that kind of a game. And maybe they did. Maybe that was it. They were just flat. So excited about Michigan State, so looking ahead that was it. But again, everyone better hope to God that Michigan was flat or bad or is not good, because if that really is the best team in the nation or among the best teams in the nation, Nebraska is realer than anyone ever thought.
So Illinois, when Nebraska played them this last time, and obviously we know Jamarcus hits the 3 and the Huskers win, Boswell had 20 points. He was their leading scorer. He's out right now. However, a guy who had 19 points in that game, Keaton Wagler, had 46 the other night against
He was unbelievable. He was unbelievable against Nebraska too. That guy is a scorer. Holy crap.
So
volume freaking score. By the way,
without Boswell, it's okay. How much is Wagler going to score? Like that's what it is on Sunday.
He's the guy. But on the other hand, and I don't know what kind of wizardry Fred is doing. I don't know. I don't know if I knew X's and O. I don't know what he does to confuse and frustrate these teams that look great at other times, especially on the defensive end. And Nebraska, by the way, in their metrics, and tonight probably is going to take it down. Although Michigan only ended up, 75 was the final score. That did not look like – it looked like we were going to have an Oklahoma game during the first half. Both teams in triple digits. But
speaking of halftime, 52-23.
Is this on the road in Milwaukee? Yes. Milwaukee, Algonquin for the good land. Alice, didn't Milwaukee have the first U.S. city to elect a socialist mayor? Well, yes, that's correct. I know I'm murdering those lines, but
it's close. Hey, we got the gist. It's good.
Algonquin for the good land. By the way, Purdue losing to Indiana. Wow. Purdue losing to Indiana, 8:40 left in the second half, according to Husker for MU, who apparently is paying attention to a lot of games. If I were Husker for MU, he's having the night of the night of the year for Marquette.
How many screens does he have?
But Purdue, when he gave me the update, and I can just look it up, but Purdue was down 12 at Indiana. Indiana's a hard place to win. Look, I think we can all agree, Assembly Hall, a tough, nearly impossible place to win, and especially when you've got a deficit of double digits. That is one thing that you're not going to see. Only the best teams be able to handle. And
that
Purdue,
game,
we'll see.
They got the number 1 broadcast team from Peacock, right? For that one.
Is that also a cock game?
I think that's a cock game. Yeah.
Jeez. Well, I watched it on YouTube TV tonight. You can get that on YouTube TV now. Do people know this? Are people aware of this? You don't have to subscribe. You can get, it's like, I don't know if
like NBC Sports or whatever it is.
I mean, like, I don't even really know what channel I'm ever watching because I just push the button where I see the red end, but it was on YouTube TV because I think they now have a situation where you can get at least the sporting events that are on Peacock on regular YouTube TV. So I guess cancel your subscription unless you want The Office. I'm not sure.
I have 2 questions for you, Jack, because we're coming up on an hour here. First question is, did tonight we simultaneously learn Nebraska is a legitimate Final Four contender while Creighton sees their bubble burst? And then second question.
What does Creighton have to do with that? I don't listen.
It's a good grade. It's like
Kaleb,
bad.
We've had enough rage bait from you in the last 24 hours. I don't think we need more. Wow.
Hit post and then mute it, baby.
Kind of like what I'm doing to the live chat right now.
That's what you do. You can't hurt me. Second question, seed range. Nebraska suffers their first loss of the season.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that.
Where things were. I was a 2 the other night, and I'm going to stay at a 2 right now for where I think Nebraska will be seated in the NCAA tournament.
I have changed my mind a little bit in a positive way after like looking at the last several years of the tournament. I think unless they lose more than 5 games, they're probably not going to be off the 1-2 line.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh yeah. I mean, that's not that crazy. On the other hand, that's 4 more losses. Sure. Could happen. Absolutely. But that's a decent amount of losses given what the rest of their schedule is too.
Yeah.
I mean, what you lose Illinois, Purdue, both at home. You lose at Iowa, and then you either lose, I guess, at UCLA or USC. Like, I mean, to get to 5 or 6 losses, you've got to lose every game that is sort of like a close to a toss-up.
Yeah, and did you see? I did a story on the last 4 tournaments or the last 5 tournaments for what the resumes were for the 1s, the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s.
I didn't see that. I was wondering about that. That's interesting.
All right, I tagged you in it on the I-80 Club where you are a founding member. So
I don't get on Discord. I can't find if somebody tags me 80 chats up. I don't know how to find where I got tagged, and I eventually give up.
I'll send it to you directly.
Is it on huskermax.com?
Yep, it's on the huskermax.com.
Is it on the fresh links?
No, it's because the story
is no longer fresh.
Yeah, the story's from 2 days ago. Like I did it Sunday.
That still seems fairly
a day that you don't work.
January 25. Okay. Let's see. Adam Carricker gets details from Trey Taylor.
I tagged you in the chat right now. You don't have to go look for it.
Oh, I'm not going in the YouTube chat. Oh no, there it is. Okay.
No, in the Discord chat, the place that we do look.
So, according to Caleb Henry's article, which I've been studying, it came out a while back. He did historically the 4 seeds over the course of the
and then the 3s and the 2s and the 1s. Yes.
So for the 4, if you want to start, the average record for a 4 seed is 23.5 and 8 and 9. So 24 and 9. Average net of 15.5.
And Ken Palm 17.3.
3 seed average is, I'm just going to round up, 25, also 25 and 9. Is that the same number as the 4 seeds? 20. No, they were 24 and 9. How in the hell does that work? 3 seeds are worse than 4 seeds, according to Caleb's article. With an average net of 14 and Ken Palm of 14. Okay. So, I mean, let's see. What was the 3 seed with the least losses that's a Power 5 school? Gonzaga, not Power 5, but they had 5.
Yeah.
It's 7. It is 7. This goes back. This is the last 5 years, Caleb. Is that correct?
5, 4, 3, 2. Last 4 years. I don't know. I can't do math.
So if Nebraska would be a 3 seed with 6 losses, they would have the fewest losses of any 3 seed in the last 4 years. But and before that would have been the pandemic. So now to 2s. The average record for
also while we're halfway through this, all of these are comparative to the season that you're in, and we're seeing this year the top is probably better than it's been resume wise to this point in the season than any of these previous 4 that I looked at.
Yeah. Okay. And how does that affect it then? Like what's the impact of that?
So where you may have been a 1 seed in a past year, because there's other really, really good teams, you might be a mid 2 seed. If you were a 2 seed, you might be a mid or a bottom 3 seed.
Gotcha.
Because the top is really, really good right now. Obviously, if a bunch of teams start losing that are at the top, that can shake things out a little bit more. But this is kind of same thing where Nebraska gets to 20 wins and misses the NCAA tournament. It's like, oh, this is It just kind of sucks that you're in this
All right.
situation, but it's better to be in it than not.
But looking at this, I'm going to stick with what I said.
Yeah.
Nebraska is a 1 or 2 seed if they have 5 or fewer losses. I feel
Yes.
confident in saying that. And maybe 6, but 5 for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Four more. They've got 4 more losses, and I'm particularly interested in the 1-2 line, obviously because it gives you better matchups in the tournament. But also, I think the 1-2 guarantees you're in Oklahoma City or St. Louis. 3, there's a very good chance you're still there, but it becomes less sure if you're a 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes down to, is Kansas in there? Is Iowa State in there? Is Houston in there above you in terms of the priority? Would Purdue go to St. Louis or would they go to Philadelphia? Is Illinois in there? All of those. I mean, that's kind of makes the Illinois game and the Purdue game, Kaleb, like doubly important.
Yeah.
Not only is it a Big Ten win, but those are 2 teams that could steal your location that you want to be in.
That also makes me think of in years past, we would get towards, especially February, and you get late February and you're looking at the bubble for Nebraska, and you would do your cheering guide for teams that you wanted to win or lose so that it helped out Nebraska on the bubble. I'm going to need to see that cheering guide for the teams in the region that we want to start falling off a lot.
Yeah, 100%. I can enumerate them basically. Illinois, Purdue, Kansas, Texas Tech, Houston, I guess Arkansas, depending on how deep you're going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I forgetting? Help me if I'm forgetting. Iowa State. These are the teams. I mean, just think, is the team close to St. Louis or Oklahoma City?
Right.
The closer they are, the more you need to cheer against them for that sort of a situation. But I don't know if this is, when you say it that way, that if you accept my postulate that if Nebraska gets 5 or fewer losses, they're guaranteed at least a 2 seed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a decent chance still with 6 losses that they could get that. And if they're 1 or 2, they get in for sure. And then even if they would get that 3 seed, they still have a decent chance. I mean, you take the probabilities and all of that, I think it's like an 85% chance or more right now that they're in one of those 2 spots.
And then you get
either a 1, 2, or 3.
You get the crowd behind you with the team that's rolling.
Oh, it's going to be, if they get in one of those 2 spots, it's going to be insane. It is going to be absolutely insane.
And speaking of the tournament, before we go, Jack, I believe we have a couple of spots still left if anyone wants to jump on Dancing with the Skurs.
Yeah. We'll make spots for everyone. I do not want to jinx anything. We had a big day when it comes to the potential of the entirety of the I-80 club traveling to Oklahoma City or St. Louis, or if need be, Buffalo or Portland or Tampa or Greenville or San Diego. I'm forgetting Philadelphia. It's happening. Let's just say that it's happening. It's happening. We're going where they are going. The next step is making cold calls to sports bars in the area of the arenas, but it's happening. And but we could use a little bit more support. And so if you're interested in, and we're not talking a ton of dough for what we're looking for now, hit me up if you're interested in, and you're going to get something for it, by the way. Oh, you're going to get something for it. Definitely. Masturbator says the whole club. I don't know what you consider the whole club, but in this scenario that I'm imagining, I'll tell you who will be there. Me, Kaleb, Josh, Mike, Lincoln. I don't know. Jeff, Ben, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. But those 5 that I said at the beginning, and my son Johnny, if you consider him a club host, probably in there. Who'd you say, Kaleb?
Chris.
I don't know. I don't know.
Who knows? Who else are we related to?
Matt says, what about the board? I don't know. Matt, bring me another sponsor and we'll see, We will see. But if there's anyone interested in all seriousness and sponsoring, we're calling it Dancing with the Skurs, our first ever I-80 road show. There are opportunities there for you, and it's going to be they're in now. I've accepted it. I also think, like I said, there's a 80% plus chance they're in Oklahoma City or St. Louis, which is going to make it even crazier and even more doable for us if it happens. I'm absolutely cheering for that. I think I prefer Oklahoma City. I think Kaleb prefers St. Louis.
Well, that's just because I want to go back and I want to on the off day go over to SIUE, but
yeah, Caleb's familiar with St. Louis, went to college near there. Maybe you can find me some sports bars that would be interesting. You got to have some connections there.
I don't think the bars I went to 15 years ago are the ones that we want to go do a show.
No? Okay. All right, let's wrap.
Hey, Big Daddies, I know you've been closed for a while. I need you to open. We have a show.
Bayman says, I need that quarter zip jack. Thank you.
Yeah, that is sweet.
I got this for Christmas a couple of years ago. It fits me now, and it hasn't for a long time. So
no, it looks good. It looks clean, and comparatively to that hat, it looks like you got that Christmas 1993.
There you go. All right, hey, shout out Nebraska Realty, Wahoo Office. Give Kurt a call, 402-480-1708. You got any questions about what they do, if they can help you? Doesn't have to be in Wahoo. It can be anyone. Give them a call. Buying, selling, estate sales, ag auctions, any of it. They can help you out with that. Give Kurt a call and see how they can help you. All right, that's it for us. Tomorrow is when I got to figure out what day it is, what's happening. This
Wednesday.
Is disorienting. Tomorrow's Wednesday. Josh, for those of you who are club members on the Patreon, we have a I-80 Live. It's late tomorrow night. We're going to do it at 8:30. Of course, Mike will be on on a show with Josh on Wednesday for Unemployed. That's at noon. And then Kaleb and I will, and of course, Mike's every day at noon. If you're not following Unemployed, listening to Unemployed, you're missing out. Mike's doing a great job with that. And then Josh and I will be for Saturday morning coffee on Saturday. And then Kaleb will be live at PBA after Nebraska, Illinois on Sunday. And I will be here. I don't think I can get tickets to, I think I am getting aced out of tickets. That is the one downside.
Too hot.
It is the one downside of this whole thing. I can't get tickets anymore. That's a little rough. But in any case, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for enduring my emotional journey once again. It's a wild ride for all of us, but it continues after tonight. And Nebraska, Illinois is next on Sunday. Make sure, if you have not yet, please, if you can do one thing for us tonight, doesn't cost anything, nothing else, subscribe to the YouTube page if you're watching on YouTube, or subscribe if you're listening on podcast, whatever podcast service that you use. Go ahead and subscribe to our pod. We would love that. It just helps us a ton in making this all work so we can continue to do shows. All right, that's it for us. I'm going to go watch the into this Indiana-Purdue game. Kaleb?
I'm going to watch Creighton Marquette.
Why? All right, we'll see you later. That's going to hurt Nebraska's strength of schedule. Good evening. Bye, Michigan fans. I'm sure you'll do fine.
Thanks for hanging out.